in April of this year, that will make 5 years that I've been celibate. And that wasn't something that I just woke up one morning and decided I'm going to be celibate. It just happened. It's not something that I put on a calendar and gave myself a start date. It just happened. And I didn't even, to be honest, I didn't even know what celibate meant. But I had heard of it a long time ago when I was going to a Bible study. And I don't know what we were talking about in that particular night, but I know that it was something that was coming up when we were talking about like the couple classes and stuff like that. And I was saying, well, there's no need for me to come because I was single. And they were saying, well, if you're not single, I mean, if you're single, that doesn't mean that you're excluded from, any teachings dealing with relationships and soul ties. And that's another thing that I wanted to talk about also. I'm not trying to get in too deep into the soul ties because I just want to talk about celibacy and give a quick story on something that happened. So I had been dating this guy and we were together. Well, we were official. We made it official. We were a couple. We did what couples do. He had his own place. I had mine. And my kids, they're young adults now, but at the time, I really didn't want to see anybody because their father and I had broken up when my baby girl was only 1. So I really wasn't focusing on relationships then. I was just focusing on my kids and work. But when this guy came into my life, when he came into my life, it wasn't something planned of either. It just happened. And we ended up in a relationship and everything was good. Actually, I thought he was going to be the one that I marry. I thought because I wasn't ever married before. Me and my kids' dad, we never married. So I've been single and I have never been married, but I've been engaged. But yeah, so we were together for almost a year. We broke up and whatever. It was because he felt the pressures of being in a committed relationship and he felt like things were going too fast as far as marriage. I've always heard how they would pull the disappearing act when marriage comes up and it's just something that they really not ready to deal with. And he felt the pressures of it, so he dipped. He dipped out. And I look at it differently now. I mean, of course, it took a toll on me. It hurt. I went through that pain. I dealt with it. It burned and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I was deep with that Usher CD when Let It Burn come out. That was the time that me and him had broken up. And I mean, we were planning on being together. We broke ground on the home that we were going to have built. Everything. We had made so many plans, on getting married and being together. And I just don't know what happened, but he lost out. So, anyway, I was single for a very long time after that. And I moved from living in that place to a new home. Still was focusing on work and kids. But I started socializing more, going out, partying, having fun, meeting people, wasting time in relationships with guys that really wasn't going nowhere. Things wasn't healthy for me. I didn't know any better then. I was just living a life. So I wasn't even thinking like I think now. I was just living a life. And nothing was from God. None of that was from God. And so it never worked out. It was just one disaster after another. And those type of things, I don't even like to talk about that much because it's in the past and it didn't last. And I don't see the benefits of even bringing up something like that that really didn't benefit my life and their life either because I'm not perfect and it's not all about me. Sometimes the same thing I'm saying about this person, they could be saying the same thing about me and why things didn't work out. But not to get too off track, because I did want to talk about how I became celibate. I got into social media. That's when, we were introduced to MySpace. And then I got into doing like free music promotions for people. So I was meeting so many different people online and doing promotions. And I found myself back out in the nightlife, dealing with clubs and promotions and stuff like that. And I meet people. And I met this one guy. And we started seeing each other like off and on. But the person, they did made it clear to me, but all I heard was words that they didn't want to be in a relationship, and anything happened with us was something that I wanted. So at the time they put it, the ball was all in my court. Like, we good as far as just sleeping together, but being in a relationship, I don't want that. But see, me, I was so deep in the moment and emotional about it all. I wasn't even hearing what they were saying. All I know is what I wanted. I wasn't even, like listening for the lesson in it all. So all the time I was hurting myself because that wasn't what's for me. That wasn't what God had for me. And I want everything that God had for me. I see it like that and I see it clearly now, but I didn't then. So, just one bad relationship to the next. And when I say relationship, not always like a couple relationship, like one bad situation to the next. And meeting people that's toxic, just stuff that just wasn't good for the soul. And obviously wasn't good for my flesh. If it ain't good for my soul, it wasn't good for my flesh. I had no business, tying myself down to something like that. And I was doing it. I didn't know no better. I felt like I didn't know myself well enough. I didn't love myself enough. I didn't cherish myself enough. So I just went with whatever just to say I had somebody. When all along, what I should have been staying focused on, is God and everything God had for me and loving my kids. That's the most important thing, you know. But I got so sidetracked with stuff because I just thought that that was meant to be. I was so caught up in a moment and thinking that it was meant to be when it was really toxic and it wasn't for me. So things like that just didn't last. And I'm glad that it didn't. I'm so thankful to God that that's a thing of my past. It didn't break me. It made me into a better person. It made me into a better woman. It made me into the woman that I am today. I'm stronger. I'm more, I have a high tolerance of a lot of things that people look at like, girl, you good. Because there ain't no way I can, like, yeah, I can really go through this. And I have been. I mean, my situation was celibacy. My celibacy, when you tell it to somebody, you see the muse in their face, like they like, what? It's like you're telling them something that's just unbelievable, and the first thing they want to do is doubt it. I don't know why that's most people's first reaction. They look at you and they just doubt it. Like, I don't know why, but that's the first reaction I get from people once I tell them that I've been celibate for a long time. And then the second thing they want to know is why. So you got to give them this long, drawn out backstory on why, which always goes back to stuff that wasn't even meant for you. That wasn't what God had for you. And I don't like to just like bash anyone because that's not fair to the person who I was involved in. I mean, I've never been in an abusive relationship. I've been in like I've been with people that's been a bit verbal abusive, but that's another story. That's like something deeper to look into when it comes up to that individual and why were they the way they were. So that's a whole nother story. But I really don't like to go back. I just like to focus on where I'm at now in life and ask God to keep strengthening me. And I just want everything God had for me. But one thing I came to terms with is that I can be by myself. I'm content. I can sleep. I sleep well by myself. I don't miss what I don't have. I'm not missing anything. Like they say, you can't miss what you never had. So I'm good on it. Not saying that I wouldn't like to be with someone and be in a good committed relationship and get married someday and have that love, trust, respect, and support. But if it doesn't happen, I'm good. Like I can be by myself forever. I could live my life like that. I know I can because I'm just that strong now. The point that I'm at right now, I can do this. Um, so I don't look forward to anything. I'm just letting you know as on a day by day basis what I am right now. And it's good. I don't like it doesn't do anything to my body. Still have a sex drive. I mean, I still have the urge to want to have sex, but it's not to the point where I'm really trying to pursue anything with anyone. I mean, it is what it is. I'm just, I'm within and without. I'll just put it like that. Life is still good as far as this, you know, new virginity. It's good. I don't feel like a really bad, I don't have this real bad frustration. I don't. I don't have any breakouts. I mean, it's been 5 years, so obviously. Maybe the first few years, so maybe the first few years. Because I've never been someone that was with guys back to back to back to back. It's always been that one person I wanted to be with. And it just didn't work out. Like I say, it just didn't work out. So that's how I became celibate. I guess it just happened. It wasn't something that I was studying and planning on doing and I put it on the calendar. No, it just happened. But another thing I wanted to talk about, and I don't really know if I'm putting it in a correct terminology, but like sex spirits. The sex spirits that come out and they kind of target you. They try to get on you when you're sleeping or when you drifting off into that when you right at that point of that deep sleep. Some people say they call it like the witch on your back, or some people just say that you're just like super tired. You had a long day, a long week, and you just in a really good sleep. And so, your body at that point where you just can't really control anything. But then at the same time, I don't really be understanding it because when you sleep, you're really not controlling anything, in a state of being awake. So I don't know. I don't know. But there is like this spirit. I do believe there's a spirit that gets on you, especially when you have been without sex for a long period of time and when your body has been used to a certain habit and activity. It's rejecting it. So that spirit knows that. So it tries its best to get on you and get attached to you. And what if it could already be attached to you? And it's your body, your strength, your mind frame that's rejecting it. But the flesh is still trying to pull it towards you. It's kind of hard to explain, but that's my definition of soul ties. It's like from past sexual partners. It's like that spirit that's just gonna always be there and trying to attach itself on to your flesh. And it's just all up to you and your mind frame and your strength and the power of God and the trust you have in God and the relationship you have in God to get that off you and keep it off of you. Because everything to me is all in the mind. Everything we do, even with the fasting, with the eating, with the dieting, with everything that I talk about, it really is all in the mind. So one thing that irks me is when I'm talking to somebody about this, and this is deep and serious. I hate for a guy to doubt me, like, yeah, right, or that's unbelievable. I just don't believe that you want to be like that. I didn't say that I want to be celibate. I say that I am, and I'm just maintaining it because I'm not looking for anything. I'm not trying to pursue anything. It is what it is. It's just like this for now. Um, yeah, and I'm not even trying to make myself available to anybody. I just don't have the urge to go and look for somebody to date, be with, get acquainted with. I mean, if it happens, it just happens. As for now, there's nobody like the only guys that I'm around for 6 hours throughout the day for 6 days a week, well, 5 days a week, is in the workplace. And so, like I say, our bodies, the flesh is weak. The flesh is weak, and I'm not gonna lie on mine, it's weak. So, if I still have a sexual urge and I'm around a guy 6 hours of the day for 5 days a week, and it's a moment just comes up. Well, my body, it got a mind of its own and it's checking you out and you fine. And you know, I've been without for so long. That's just a natural reaction. So the next thing is, am I going to react on it, or I'm just going to fight that urge and, like pray it off me? You could either do one or the other. And where I slipped up at is to think too much about going the opposite way from what I had been going. That's where I made my mistake at, because I tried to pursue something with someone who's not available, first of all, and the conversation got heated, and he rejected, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Like, the conversation could have went on if I kept pushing it, but once I seen that rejection, I just wanted to go ahead on and check myself. I thought it was good to check myself, like, leave this alone. No, this is not what you want. And on top of that, this is not what you need. Mostly, it's not what you need. Leave that alone. He's with someone anyway. Even if he wasn't with somebody, I don't think that that's something that God wants for me. And I had to think long and hard about it and check myself and remove myself from any kind of communication, with that person that'll lead to that. So just keeping it strictly about work, because I know that's not what I really want. That was my body and my flesh speaking out for the moment. And I'm not even going to mess up a good thing by going that way. So, yeah, I just wanted to talk about that for a moment because it was something that hit my mind earlier today. And I did wanted to just share my celibacy story. It's not something that I had planned. It's something that just happened. And I'm the type, I don't want people to hold me up to anything, because I'm not perfect, but I strive to be the best me. I'm just striving to be the best me. And that's, I owe it to me and I owe it to God. I don't really owe it to man. I'm not a bad person. I'm not out here trying to hurt anybody. I'm not trying to step on any toes, interrupt relationships or nothing. I'm just trying to be the best me and, just keep a strong mind frame while I'm living this lifestyle. I just hope that whatever God got for me, I want it all. I want everything that God has for me. And in the meantime, I'm going to keep on praying, keep fasting, and keep doing what I think is best for my body, for my mind, and for my soul. And I hope that this helps somebody. Like I said, I hope that you find it in good taste and not come off as too judgmental, like what I had to deal with today with someone when I tried to explain it to them. I think that they totally misunderstood where I was going with it, but I'm gonna leave that alone because I know what the deal is. So there's no love lost. Sometimes you just have to reevaluate things with people and you got to remove yourself from it. Sometimes you can't always ask God to remove a person from you. You got to ask God to remove you from the person in the situation. And that's what I had to do today. Um, he is good and He is everything, and He gives me all the strength that I have. Without God, I know I'm nothing but, flesh and weak minded. But so far, I've done really good with this. And I pray that I go further with it, until I get what's for me. So, thank y'all for watching. It's almost midnight. So, I might just post this video in the morning on my commute to work. And I hope you all have a good night. And thank you for watching.